The book Blissful Rambles obviously reveals the intense wanderlust as a poetic travelogue. It is a collection of 64 poems which look like peerless pearls. All these poems depicted enormously ecstatic experiences.
I want to speak only from one point of view, one angle I want to choose and speak. That is the poetic lines in this book. Other things will be talked about by others. There are 3 poems in this book.
I certainly consider it a privilege on my part
In a way, they are special
to preside over
because they were written
this meeting.
his granddaughter. At the bottom of each poem,
Professor Devi
he
Prasad
wrote those poems.
has carved a nick for himself. He has a multi-splendid personality in our country. He had worked as a professor for several universities,
More on the
and
poetic aspect of
now he has been working as a director Center for Good Government of Telangana. He has been in that reputed position for over.
When a poet feels strongly about one thing, the poetry comes out nicely. So, because he has got so much of affection for his granddaughters, there is poetry in it. In Minnesota Star, he says, "Thy very arrival brings forth springs of tender mango leaves and the glitter of 1,000 stars." Because I am a translator, I prefer to tell it in Telugu also. తెలుగులో చెప్పాలంటే నీ పుట్టుక లేత మావించి గుళ్ళ వసంతాన్ని వేల నక్షత్రాల తలుపును తీసుకొచ్చింది అంటారు. అంటే ఇది ఇందులో పోయిటిక్ ఆస్పెక్ట్. Thou the angel being floating away from the sky, being flowing as waterfall in Grand Canyon, you are an epic born from the Kalidasa's pen. Thou art the melody that emerged from Annamaya's tongue. అంటే అది ఇంత కవితాత్మకంగా ఉన్న లైన్స్ అన్నమాట. యాజ్ యూ నో తెలుగు మన ఇంగ్లీష్లో కానీ తెలుగులో కానీ దెర్ ఆర్ సంథింగ్స్ కాల్డ్ లిటరరీ అంటారు. మంచి హీఈస్ హ్యాపీ దట్ హీ లైక్స్ ద జుబిలెంట్ నేచర్ ఆఫ్ ఇట్ అండ్ ద వైబ్రెన్సీ ఆఫ్ ద అవన్నీ వచ్చుకుంటారు. బట్ అట్ ద సేమ్ టైం ఏమంటారు, ఈ లాస్ వేగస్లో ఉన్న వాళ్ళు వాళ్ళ జీవితాలను నాశనం చేసుకుంటున్నారు. అంటే వాట్ ఆర్ దట్ మీన్ మంచిదని చెప్తూ కూడా దట్ మీన్స్ హీఈస్ డీప్లీ ఎంట్రెంచ్డ్ ఇన్ ద కల్చర్ అండ్ కన్వెక్షన్స్ ఆఫ్ కల్చర్.
జువ్వాడి దేవి ప్రసాద్ గారు వారి యొక్క తెలుగు పుస్తకం విశ్వవిహారం, అట్లాగే బ్లిస్ఫుల్ ర్యాంబుల్స్ మొత్తం ఇంగ్లీష్ పుస్తకం, ఈ 2 పుస్తకాలు కూడా ఒక నాతోటి ఆవిష్కరణ చేశారు. ఒకటేమో హైదరాబాద్ బుక్ ఫేర్లో ఆవిష్కరణ జరిగింది, 2 మన రవీంద్ర భారతిలో ఇప్పుడు జరుపుతున్నారు. కాబట్టి నరసమ్మ యశ్వంతరావు ఫౌండేషన్ నుంచి చాలా వరకు ఇది ఆల్వాల్లోనూ మనం అక్కడ పెడతాం. ఇప్పుడు సభలని అక్కడ పెడతాం చాలా పెద్ద ఎత్తున అక్కడ పార్క్లో పెట్టి కొన్ని వందల మంది వస్తారు. కానీ ఈసారి పుస్తకాన్ని జువ్వాడి గారు రవీంద్ర భారతిలో పెడుతున్నారు. రవీంద్ర భారతి అంటే నేను అనుకుంటా కదా 10 మందో 20 మందో వస్తారు అనుకున్నా. అది చాలా వరకు ఈ హాల్ మొత్తం కూడా నిండిపోయి చాలా పెద్ద సభ అయిపోయింది. దేన్నైనా చూసినప్పుడు అందరం ఆస్వాదిస్తాం. దానికి భాషతో సంబంధం లేదు, దానికి ప్రాంతంతో సంబంధం లేదు. ఎవరైనా సరే ఒక వస్తువును చూసినప్పుడు, ఒక సుందరమైన ప్రదేశాన్ని చూసినప్పుడు, ఒక గుట్టను చూసినప్పుడు, ఒక పుట్టను చూసినప్పుడు మనం ఆనందిస్తాం. కానీ ఆ ఆనందించినటువంటి దాన్ని అప్పటికప్పుడుగా తన్మయత్వం చెందుతాం తప్ప దాన్ని కవిత్వం చేయాలని మాత్రం మనం అనుకోం. కవితాత్మకంగా చెప్పాలని మాత్రం మనం అనుకోం. కవితాత్మకంగా చెప్పడం అంటే చాలా కష్టమైన విషయం. లోపల అనేక భావాలు సంఘర్షిస్తూ ఉంటాయి. ఆ సంఘర్షిస్తున్నటువంటి భావాలన్నింటినీ కూడా కవిత్వంగా చెప్తాం. అది కొంచెం కష్టమైంది, అది కవులు మాత్రమే చేస్తారు. కాబట్టి మనం పోతూ ఉన్నప్పుడు ఈ ఒక సుదీర్ఘమైనటువంటి జీవిత ప్రయాణంలో మనం పోతున్నప్పుడు అనేక విషయాలు మనకు చూస్తూ ఉంటాం. కొన్ని యాక్సిడెంటల్గా మనం చూసినటువంటి దృశ్యాలు కూడా ఉంటాయి. అంటే ఒక 2 గుట్టల మధ్య వేసినటువంటి ఒక రైలు, ఆ రైల్లో ప్రయాణం చేస్తున్న వాడికి ఒక 102, 103 జ్వరం వచ్చింది. ఆ జ్వరం వచ్చిన వాడు ఆ ట్రైన్లో ప్రయాణం చేస్తూ ఆ గుట్టల నుంచి కింద చూశాడు. చూస్తే వాడికి అద్భుతమైనటువంటి ప్రకృతి కనిపించింది. ఆ ప్రకృతిని ఆస్వాదించాడు. చివరికి ఏమనుకున్నాడంటే ఇక్కడే ఉండిపోతే ఎంత బాగుంటుందని చెప్పేసి అనుకొని ఆకులో ఆకునై, పువ్వులో పువ్వునై, ఎడవి దాగిపోనా అని చెప్పేసి ఒక గీతాన్ని రాశాడు. అది కూడా యాత్రా సాహిత్య గీతికి వస్తుంది. చాలా వరకు నదులు దాటి, సముద్రాలు దాటి, దేశాల్లో మొత్తం 42 దేశాలు, 48 దేశాలు తిరిగినటువంటి ఒక వ్యక్తి దేశ సరిహద్దులు దాటిన వాటితో పుస్తకం ఆవిష్కరింపజేస్తే ఇట్లే ఉంటుంది. మరి కారణం ఏంటంటే మొత్తం దేశం మొత్తమే చూడలేదు. ఇంకా దేశాల్లో ఉన్నటువంటి కవిత్వం, దేశాల్లో ఉండే కవిత్వాన్ని మనం చదువుకోవడమే తప్ప, దేశాల్లో ఉండేటువంటి సాహిత్యాన్ని అధ్యయనం చేయడానికి కొద్ది గొప్ప ప్రయత్నం చేయడమే తప్ప, అక్కడ పోయి ఆ యొక్క దృశ్యాలని చూడడం, చూసినటువంటి దృశ్యాలని తనలోకి ఇముడ్చుకొని దాన్ని అక్షరాలుగా పల్లవింపజేయడం చాలా కష్టమైనటువంటి పని. ఇక్కడ ఖవాజా మీర్ రాసినటువంటి ఒక కవితని, ప్రపంచమంతా పర్యటించురా ఓ అజ్ఞాని, జీవితం మళ్ళీ ఎక్కడ దొరుకుతుంది? ఒకవేళ జీవితం ఏ కొద్దిగా మిగిలినా ఎక్కడి నుంచి తెస్తావు నవయవనాన్ని? అక్షరాన్ని మనం రికార్డ్ చేసుకోవచ్చు, కానీ యవనాన్ని రికార్డ్ చేసుకుంటే ఎవడైనా ప్రపంచంలో? దాన్ని అక్షరాల్లో మాత్రమే మనం పొదగలుగుతాం, పొదిగించగలుగుతాం, భద్రపరచగలుగుతాం, శాశ్వతమైనటువంటి సంపదగా ఉంచగలుగుతాం. ఎంతైనా నీ సహోదరుడే కదా, ఎంతో కష్టపడి వచ్చాను, మళ్ళీ రాకపోవచ్చు, మళ్ళీ వస్తాననే నమ్మకం లేదు. జడలు విధించుకున్న తీవ్రవాదాన్ని పారద్రోలు, భూమిలో మానవత్వ పరిమళాలు వెదజల్లు, మల్లెల మమతలు వికసించి నీ ఎండిపోయిన ఎడారిలో ప్రజాస్వామ్యపు జల్లు కురిపించు. ఇది ఇక్కడ ప్రజాస్వామ్యానికి సంబంధించిన అంశం చెప్తున్నా, నియంతృత్వం. కాబట్టి ఇక్కడ ఆయన అక్కడికి వెళ్ళి కోరుకుంది విశ్వమానవ సౌభ్రాతృత్వాన్ని కోరుకున్నాడు. అది కవి చేసేటువంటి పని ఏంటంటే అది.
In the morning but then yes, I'm very happy to be here. First of all, congratulations to Devi Prasad sir for this incredible feat, I would say, because we have come across travelogues, a lot, but then a poetry travelogue, that too in the form of a book, we have seldom seen that. So it's, I would say, a trailblazing thing that he has done. So I would like to congratulate him on that. So please give him a round of applause. And as Telugadda sir has very beautifully said that when poetry comes from within, it really touches the soul of the other. We have seen that in his poetry that he has written for his grandchildren, and that reminded me of what the great American poet Lawrence Ferlinghetti had said, and he had said that poetry is an eternal graffiti written in the soul of every person, and which is very true. When there's a poem that touches your soul, it kind of gets engraved in your soul, and you kind of carry it all through your life. Just like a mother, you try to care and coset and keep it in the casket, the metaphorical casket of your soul, and you tend to it and you indulge in it from time to time, just like a mother does to a child. So that is what you do when you come across a good poetry. That is what all of us would do when we read some of the very beautiful poems that Devi Prasad sir has written in this book. And I would not go into the detail of each and every poem, because I would want all of you to buy this beautiful book and read it for yourself. And I also do not believe in dissecting poems, and all the professors of English literature would chastise me for this, because but then this is my personal view. We all have our personal world view. The way we read, it's an art, the way we read a poem, because the way I read a poem will be very different than the way you read it, right? We have seen through history that great poets have written poems, from Shelley to Charles Whitman, from Charles Pierre Voltaire to Langston Hughes, then Shelley and Maya Angelou, to the most recent, most contemporary poets. All of them have, expressed their idiosyncratic style. They have written to kind of empower and for dissent, right? Maybe poetry means different things to all of us, different people. Like for T.S. Eliot, poetry is an escape from emotions, which is a direct riposte to what William Wordsworth had said. He said it's a spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings. So it can be different things to different people, but what poetry does to us is it brings all of us together. It evokes a kind of a sense of community, and we are reminded that we are one through our joys and sorrows. No matter our we have cultural differences, we have language differences, but poetry brings us closer to each other by reminding us that through our joys and sorrows we are one. We are one today. Like we have cultural differences and language difference, which I'm feeling a lot today. But then poetry has brought all of us together under the same roof, and that is what good poetry does to us. In this beautiful book, and very rightly said, Blissful Rambles, it takes us to a blissful journey of the world. The poet has taken us to so many countries through his magical poetic quill. We are teleported to Paris and all those Moulin Rouge show, and then Champs-Élysées, and then he has very beautifully written that the Seine River of Paris, he has compared it to the necklace of a queen, and the Eiffel Tower as the crown of the queen. Very beautifully done, that poem, and I really like that poem a lot. When I read this, I danced like Lord Shiva. I would cause the devastation and will enjoy the sight of man's doom. Yes, Shiv Tanda, but it also reminded me of the Sufi dervishes, because that's what Sandhus do. They roll, and yes, there's this. Incessantly they dance, they keep on rolling and rolling. Such a beautiful poem this one is, and of course it ends on a melancholic tone, but then again nothing is permanent, right? Melancholy, as he said, Faiz Ahmad Faiz is one of the persons who he is very inspired by Faiz Ahmad Faiz. He writes a lot of poems on positivity, on hope. And when we talk of hope is a thing with feather that perches on the soul and sings a tune without the words, that Emily Dickinson has reminded us. And of course, there's after every darkness there is light, and poetry shows us that light. And it again reminds me of the words, there is a hero that lies inside your heart, and you don't have to be afraid of who you are. And there's an answer if you look inside your soul, and the sorrow that you know would melt away, and then a hero comes along with the strength to carry on, and you cast your fears aside, and you know you can survive. So when you know that hope is gone, look inside you and be strong, and you finally know the truth, that the hero lies in you. So Maria Carey says these words, and in one of the interviews she also says that many people after the 9/11 attack had written her lots of letters, hundreds of letters, thanking her because her words had given solace to so many survivors, so many bereaved families after the attack. So that's what poetry does to us. Good poetry does to us. It gives us a sojourn. It gives us a calm comfort akin to a mother's lap, right?
My impression of this book is highly personal. I would consider it's not just a travelogue. It's not a ramble. It's not excursion. It is not holidaying. It is a serious human document which records all terrifying facts, horrifying realities. It is almost unfolding the world before us, and different facets of the world with all its variety, incredible diversity and variety. And we have seen how the has touched upon poverty, slavery, prostitution, and freedom, and heroism, courage, all the very powerful ideas he tries to portray.
వేదికపై ఉన్న పెద్దలకు, వేదిక ముందున్న పెద్దలకు, కవులకు, కవితా ప్రియులకు, మిత్రులకు, శ్రేయోభిలాషులందరికీ నా నమస్కారాలు. The Vishwaviharam, my Telugu poetic travelogue, was released about 3 years ago by my good friend Juvvadi Gauri Shankar. If I go to genesis of the book, when I went to the great poet, late Sri L.V. Sudhakar Garu, and requested him to write the foreword, Mudumata, for my Telugu original Vishwaviharam. He wanted the book and I gave the book to him. And he has gone through and he asked me to come after 2-3 days. And then he said that what made me to experiment with the book. Honestly speaking, I did not know what I have done and what is experimented. That's what I told, the same thing. And then he said that a lot of people write their experiences, their journeys all over. They come out with basically prose, as some people mention, that my America Yatra in Telugu, my Singapore Yatra, even Dubai Yatra, we see all in Telugu dailies and Telugu weeklies, etc. But he said that what I have done, in a short, precise, poetic way, I have narrated these cities or the countries and people whom I met abroad, etc. Honestly speaking, I didn't know what I was doing. That's what I told him. Unknowingly, I have done that. And I honestly confessed to him. And then he was very much impressed and he has given the foreword. Unfortunately, he died about 2 years ago. And then what he said, that he would like to really bring recognition to this experiment, which I have done unknowingly. And he said that he would recommend the book to the Hyderabad Central University Board of Studies to include a syllabus in the MA Telugu in the tourism subject. And that was the time I thought, why not really I get it translated. And immediately after that, my good friend here, Kotla Venkateswara Reddy Garu, he also suggested that I should really take up translation. And then another good friend, Saina Shivashankar, who came forward to help me. And then, of course, I was hesitant and I forgot about that. But when L.V. Sudhakar Garu, I started reminding his words that it would be included in the syllabus of the MA Telugu subject, I thought something should be done with the translation. And then, of course, I have taken help from many people. It began with Saina Shivashankar, but he advised me, I kind of gave inputs in a Shakespearean English, and which it's very difficult for me to even write or understand, etc. Then I approached, today unfortunately he is not here, I consulted Sri Srikanth Garu, who is an English lecturer at City College. He is son of the great Telugu poet Juvvadi Garu, and he has given a lot of encouragement. And not only encouragement, and he suggested that I should really change the style and he advised me to go to the free verse. And then I started looking into seriously. And of course, most important after that, I started consulting a common friend of ours. We all have a common friend these days, a virtual friend, Google. So, really, I've been benefited a lot by the Google Translate. Still, I was not satisfied because it's very difficult coming from a Telugu background, of course, acquainting with English for a number of years and bringing poetry. Telugu, all right, but in English. So then, the person who had helped me a lot. Before that, of course, I consulted other people. Professor Damodar Rao of the Kakatiya University, he also gave some inputs. Of course, I have taken some, I have not taken. Basically, how to go about, how to write all these things. Ultimately, the person who has given a lot of inputs and refined my translation is none other than one of the greatest translators, one of the excellent translators which our state has, Dr. Nagaraj Surendra, whom we all know as Telangana. Finally, he has refined my translation, and then I felt happy. I wanted to talk a lot about my Vishwaviharam, how I have done and what I have done, all these things. But basically, as friends, what I already said, that this is all my experiences, my feelings, అంటే నా అనుభవాలు, నా అనుభూతులు in about 36 countries, in all continents. I have described about cities, countries, rivers, mountains, deserts, etc. in a beautiful way in Telugu, with great difficulty and a lot of time. It took 2 to 3 years for me to translate it, and ultimately it has come. I am very happy. Among all the luminaries of the poetry in English as well as Telugu, amidst all the great Telugu poets, the book is being launched today. I am very happy. And with this permission, I would like to thank one and all for coming here to bless me. అందరికీ నమస్కారాలు, ధన్యవాదాలు.